That is trespassing. When you're not on a public
enter
sidewalk,
or remain unlawfully.
Yes,
I never entered or remained unlawfully.
Hold on, Ron, calm down.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm just trying to understand.
Sure.
We're going and knocking on people's doors.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. So we're not allowed to knock.
First Amendment right.
Ron, calm down.
I'm sorry.
We're not allowed to walk onto someone's door and knock on their door.
Correct, because it's their private property. So
I
if
didn't
you
know that.
if so anything, so like right now we're on a public sidewalk. Where he's standing is technically private property. Somebody maintains that lawn, somebody cares for that lawn. This building probably, chances are, is who owns that, right? However, most people aren't going to call in and say, hey, you're trespassing, right? But because of the nature and how everything went down, right, and their confrontation, their disturbance, whatever it is that they got into, I wasn't there, right? You know I wasn't there. It was you and them, right?
Well, how are you going to convince a jury?
Right? So the allegation right now, right, is that, right? Very simple. All we do is verify who you are, ensure that all you're doing is canvassing.
I have a Fourth Amendment protection.
Right? Okay, if you'd like to go down that road, we can go down and we'll take you to jail for trespassing, if that's what the road you want to go down. I'm trying to prevent that, alleviate all that, by just verifying who you are. Very simple.
I committed no crime.
When you're trespassing, that is a crime.
No, if anybody ever told me to leave their property, I left, and that wasn't today.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You still can't just trespass on people's properties. It's private property. If you don't own it, it's owned by somebody else, right? Like the grass you're standing on. If somebody called and said, hey, that guy's trespassing, I want to trespass,
so
I have
then
to identify you and issue you a warning, and then
a picture is sufficient.
Okay? What was that?
A picture is sufficient for a warning. You can take my picture and say you did.
That's not sufficient. We need a name and date of birth because we have to issue you a formal trespass warning.
So under threat of arrest, if I do not give you my name,
threat, okay.
So if I do not give you my name, will you?
Because now you're
that you will arrest me.
You're trespassing, and you don't give us your information. Now it's obstruction.
If I do not give you my name, you'll arrest me.
Listen, we don't want to go down that road.
I know, but I'm just asking you.
I am being as reasonable with you as I can be. Okay.
And I want to comply.
Listen, okay.
I want to comply, but
private property, okay. The city of Billings, right, requires we identify the person to issue them a warning, saying, "Hey, sir, you've been warned. Please do not trespass."
And the Supreme Court has ruled that a picture is sufficient.
Ron, I need you to hold on for a second. This is my program organizer.
Okay,
would you mind just talking to her for a second?
No problem.
I want legal representation.
Hello, this is Officer Diaz. Who am I speaking with? Good. I'm doing well. We're just out here because there was reports of some kind of hot prowling going on where, what's your name?
But they're false reports.
My name is...
Thank you.
What's Ron, he works with me.
Ryan. So I guess Brian? Ron. I guess Ron was doing some political canvassing.
Yes, that's what we did.
And they were knocking on doors and so forth, which they're allowed to do, right?
No crime.
When you trespass on somebody's private property, it's trespassing. So most people aren't going to call in that you came to solicit and do all that stuff, right? At the end of the day, like I explained all that, that's all we're trying to do.
I'm going to give up my rights. He just said I haven't committed any crime. I have no obligation to identify.
Real quick, that's what he said.
It's wrong, right?
But if he's going to threaten me with arrest, then I will sue them for a violation.
So, really quickly, Ron, let me just clear this up really quickly, okay?
Somebody maintains the grass.
Billings City Code has a thing just called prowling.
That's fine. I just need to know if I do not give my name, will you arrest me?
If Ron is
okay, thank you.
I don't know what company you work for.
Am I free to go now?
Not right now, right? Just Billings City
So
Code.
what reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that trespassing is when you enter and remain unlawfully? Nothing about me knocking on their door was unlawful.
I appreciate you explaining the trespassing, okay? That's really helpful. Thank you. Okay?
Like I said, most
I'm talking about the situation in Billings City Code, okay? That has to do with prowling. You kind of already explained it. Why you're here. You're politically.
And I have my boss. So there we go. Political canvassing. This is my First Amendment right. I am exercising my First Amendment right.
So like as part of like that Billings City Code requiring
because of that,
we just need to identify.
Can you get me that Billings City Code?
Would you like me to show it to you?
Yeah.
I don't want a person identify him, be done with it, and send him on his way.
You can even read it if you would like.
Being difficult and not wanting to give his name. So that's kind of where we're at.
Oh, I'm a law-abiding individual practicing my First Amendment right, though.
Absolutely. Right,
so,
part of the
absolutely.
People came and they described it, right? They described it as You were coming in and you were like making.
But that's why
doorways,
you
right?
do due diligence and you come and get the second side of the story and you find out that my boss is here and I'm exercising my First Amendment right. So now, so what crime have I committed?
Because I'm trying to complete and make sure, right? Like obviously, yeah.
What does my name have to do with any of that?
Verify it, right? For us to be able to
And that's what we want to leave it
verify
as, very simple.
and confirm,
Just be like, hey,
right,
man,
that you are here and what you're doing is politically.
I just told you, do you have any reason to believe that is not why I am here? Other than what those people, exactly. If you don't know, how are you going to convince a jury?
Because here's the thing, man, is we don't necessarily know for sure yet.
Ron, we are not trying to antagonize these guys. They're trying to do their jobs. Someone called the police. Like if you would have called the police in your area and tell them it's the same thing, they're going to come and check it out. That what they said to you is not okay, but trying to figure out the situation. We've got to try to stay calm for them. They're trying to not arrest you. They're trying to get to the bottom of who we are so that they can just.
I believe in my rights. That's why I'm out politically canvassing, exercising my First Amendment right. And I've just asked, am I going to be arrested if I do not give my name? He said no. What's your answer?
Okay, so
Since you know that I'm politically canvassing and
here's
not
the deal,
doing that code.
here's the deal, okay? Since you're being less than forthcoming and there's bigger problems that are plaguing our city in the interest of justice and the safety of the community, we're not going to waste our time with you anymore, okay?
I want to go home.
But
Thank
the
you.
reality is, okay?
Thank you.
Had we had more time and all this stuff,